Hello and welcome back to the new episode of the Model Living Podcast. My name is Noah, I'm your host, and today I'm sitting with Gregor. He is one of our agents. He specializes on the palm, but maybe you can introduce yourself a bit.
Yes, hi Noah.
Hi.
Thanks for having me today.
Amazing.
Hi, my name's Gregor. You of course know me very well. I'm here in Dubai, specializing specifically on the trunk of the palm Jumeirah. So as you know, the palm is split into separate branches, and then it also has a crescent, which basically forms the outer leaves of the palm.
Yeah.
My specialty area is purely the trunk. So I operate right at the beginning, let's say, where you come in and come out of the palm. It's quite an interesting part for me because on the left-hand side you have all the hotels, but I like to focus on the residential side.
So all the shorelines and everything.
Exactly, all the shorelines, marina residence, and Golden Mile mainly as well.
Amazing. So today's topic viewings, like everything. Also, we have some questions about personal viewings in general, what you should prepare, and everything about the topic in general viewings. So let's maybe start from a question from your side because you prepared some. I think so.
Yes, I mean for me it's always important. I know you've been in Dubai several years now as well,
Mhm.
and you've done hundreds of viewings probably yourself as well. So I think what's really important is to first of all qualify the clients right for the viewings.
Yeah.
I know we have a lot of people which come to Dubai, they go in and out, and they just like to look at apartments.
Mhm.
However, they actually may not have the funds, or they actually not actively interested, but they just shopping around us, window shopping,
Yeah.
as we say. So just wanted to hear from your side, what is your approach towards that, and how do you really maintain those relationships with your sellers, to
Yeah.
bring the best
Yeah.
clients only.
Yeah, I mean also sellers and buyers. The thing is, at the beginning, the agents really need to learn how to qualify the client first, the buyer, and then you don't ruin the relationship with the seller, because all the like I see in the market, all the agents don't really understand how to qualify the buyer, and then they just have viewings, and then no one is going to buy, and they don't ask the certain questions before having even the viewing. Okay. So yeah, at the beginning, I think it was a bit more viewings, without even really qualifying. Okay, do you have the funds? When do you want to buy? And all these questions to go through the filter. And at the end, there are some clients left which are really interested to buy it. But for sure, there's a lot of viewings you need to have, and then to sell the apartment actually at the beginning. Now it's like easy. You can just qualify the client very easily and just have the viewing, and on the spot they will sometimes give you even checks, or you can sign the forms.
I was just about to ask you, have you ever had this situation as well on a viewing where the client was then like, after the viewing said, okay, this is it, this is the perfect one, here's the check?
I can tell you even about my first deal. I don't think so that I told you about. It's in Dubai Hill. I had two viewings, and then one was the final one. I'm showing them around, showing them it's a 3-bedroom plus maid, and showing them everything. And then I sit, put the laptop at, there was one table and some stuff, some furnishing in this in the apartment, sitting there, and then literally 1 minute they're like watching each other, like the couple, in the laptop per Zoom, and they sitting together and watching just to each other 1 minute, just talking a bit, and they both turn around. Yeah, Noah, we take the apartment. And like the next few days they transferred the money of 600,000, 700,000 euros just to our bank account. And this was like the first deal I had, and I closed it by Zoom, and they
So the first deal you had wasn't even with people you
No.
physically know.
No.
They were just in the
No.
in the virtual world.
Yeah, they just transferred. For sure, they knew the area.
Of course,
I
yeah.
qualified them very right. So I knew, okay, they know the area, they know the building, they know what they're buying. They've been to Dubai several times over the past years, 4 or 5 years, so they know what's going on in Dubai. And out of this, I qualified them very right for the right building, what's available, which unit, which view, and that's it. They bought it. Yeah. So this is the easy way how to go for it when they really know which area to buy, when you ask a certain question to your client, then easily the client, you know what to offer the client, and you know what's going on the viewing. So yeah, so that's the point. What do you had like situations also? Tell me about yourself, about the viewings. Did you had any situation like this, like I had, or?
In fact, I've definitely not closed anyone over a virtual viewing. So all the clients which have bought off me, they do come personally and check the apartment out. But in a sense, what you're saying as well, it's the same thing in a way. They are not strangers to Dubai. They are familiar with the areas. They know, they have seen probably properties themselves as well, live in Dubai. It was just all about the right timing and finding the right property for them, which maybe wasn't available back then when they came to Dubai. But no, for me, as I said, all of the clients which I have made happy, they are not in the virtual world.
So always showing, always viewings.
Always showing, always viewings. Not necessarily always viewings, because I do deal with a lot of investors as well, which are very familiar with even specific independent building layouts. That means, they have been inside units as such hundreds of times. They know the view of each unit, they know the size of each unit, they know the floor plan off by heart. They just need to know whether maybe the apartment has had some upgrades, or maybe, when some renovations have been done to it. But if it's just a standard unit, like it was handed over from the developer, then they're often even able to make a decision without viewing the property. Just the pictures, and of course, the documents to prove that the property does exist and it's not a scam. So once I provide all of that to them, then it's really just about the price, like cool. It always is. So I have closed without viewing, but not without virtual. Not with virtual viewing. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. So tell me maybe about an awkward situation where you had the viewing with a client.
An awkward situation with the viewing.
Like in the viewing with a client, seller, buyer, I don't know, or even
tenants,
I don't know.
For me, probably the one which is the most awkward, where, because going back to what you were saying before about qualifying your especially buyers, and you know how it is in Dubai, the sellers, they can get very picky, understandably as well, because there's so many agents of us, and some of them literally do just use the unit as a showroom, like a developer would have with someone. They would, do 20, 30 viewings and not even get any feedback after the viewing, and second of all, not receive any offers, even if the offers might be lower what they're asking, but in the end of the day, they can then still see they're working on the unit. But going back to that, qualifying the clients, one of the most awkward situations I had, would say, was in a one bedroom on the Palm, and I know the client was serious. It was a client from Russia, and it was all about finding the right unit in the right building. And we went. I contacted the seller and told her, like, I've got this Russian client. She's really serious, and I've shared, of course, all the pictures and details. She knew that everything. Like I said to investors before, it was all about finding the right unit in the right building, and then being able to get a viewing and hopefully get an offer. So I convinced the seller to get the viewing, and already then she was, let's say, a bit protective, and because people do invade her private space. And I said, no, this is for sure, this is the one. And it was actually quite early morning viewing. Well, morning, it was like around 11:30 in the morning. And I meet my client in the lobby downstairs, and already I can see that she was very strongly smelling of alcohol. And it was... I could also see it in her behavior, how she was like walking. She was like a bit tipsy, as they would say here. And already there, I'm at the lobby shaking my head. I'm like, oh no, I cannot bring this person to the cellar right now. She's gonna ban me forever. Anyways, I did qualify my lead before, and I knew that she was serious, and was just hoping she was in the right condition to be able to remember all of these things she said. I did the viewing, and in the viewing, even the buyer, was kept on like basically like hooking her foot on like the table and like nearly falling over like in the viewings, like just walking around, and the seller was just standing there like looking at me. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, trust me, this is gonna be the one.
Did she bought?
And she actually bought the unit, yeah, full asking price. But it was definitely very, very awkward, because I remember the seller's face. She was just looking at me there, and she was like
Pissed off.
super pissed off. She obviously could smell it as well. She could see like the client stumbling around in her apartment, and yeah, that was definitely a very awkward situation for me.
Interesting.
Because I could already realize in the lobby, I was like, this is not going to go down well. But hey, if you qualified well, and if you know what she wants, then she went for it.
Very cool. Very good. Very nice one. Okay.
What about you? Have you had any situations where you say something similar? Maybe do you have had very angry sellers, or even awkward situations?
I had like not that crazy. I have some situations where I really know that it was not a normal viewing, but nothing like where the seller with the buyer was like something crazy like this. I had situations where the building was not ready, and I took the client through the parking up and then just showing the apartment, and also running after
getting chased by security guards.
Yeah, I think that's normal with experienced agents. They know where the entrance is, and
they have their own entrances in the building. Exactly, yeah. We always find a way.
What else? Or where you had viewings and the sellers just been pissed off because they don't get any results of the viewings. But no, not that crazy like you had. No, for sure not that crazy like you. I had one in MGL, Marina Jumeirah Living, and I had a viewing, and just after viewing I just went to another building there, and I just go to the security guy, and he said like, I remember you because I have some other units also in La Côte, and he remembered me from there. So he was shifted from La Côte restationed to MGL, and then he was talking to me and saying, "Yeah, you agents, you're making so much money." And I said, I didn't recognize it. I just go up to the apartment, making the buildings. Just please open the door for me, showing everything, and he left me upstairs. And then I went, made the pictures, and then I went down for the signature and get my ID back. And then he said again, your agent's making so much money. And I was supposed to leave, and I just turned around again and talking to him and asking him the question, okay, why are we making so much money? And he said, yeah, because you're real estate agents. And I said, no. Because we are bringing the value to bring buyers and selling actually the apartment to the buyers from the seller. This is the value we bring. And he was like shocked because he was like recognizing, oh, this is crazy. Like, oh, I didn't thought about it in this way. And then I told him, okay, when you want to have, because he asked for a tip or something in before. And then I told him, okay, when you want to have something out of this, you want to have a tip or something, bring me value. When you have sellers or buyers, here's my card, call me, and that's it. So this was not a crazy situation like you had, but it was something where unusual, I would say.
Yeah, I think with the security, especially with the security guards as well, they see exactly everything which is going on, and they probably have quite a clear idea by now as well. If they've been working a few years there.
I mean, it looks easy.
Yeah,
it looks
exactly.
Easy.
It's like, oh, this guy just comes, he opens the door. Shows the apartment to Mr. John, and then guides Mr. John back out, and then he says, okay, here's 2 million dirhams, and here's your commission. But of course he doesn't see everything which happens in the background, or even before that, the month or like weeks in preparation for that, acquiring the unit, following up, like posting it, marketing it, bringing everyone there, showing it around.
Yeah.
He doesn't see that, but yeah, he just sees the, in my opinion as well, like the most pleasant part of the job. He's meeting the people. If it's for the first time, some people, I'm sure you have as well, clients which are occurring, and they keep buying, they keep selling. I mean, in Dubai we have it a lot with
Yeah.
flipping properties.
I mean, these are our main clients. They know what's going on in Dubai. They just want exactly this type and this tower. They don't need the viewings most of the time. And
Exactly.
they
Yeah, they have
just
very
buy.
strict requirements, and
Yeah.
they're
know the market.
they're
They-
very tough. You know,
Yeah.
it's if the series number is not a 07 but it's a 08, for example, they don't even bother sending it to them, because they will just, you know, get annoyed because they've told you before 10 times, I only want this, which is fair enough. I understand. And those, you should also respect that decision and only come to them if you
Yeah.
actually have that specific
True.
unit.
Okay, you had an awkward situation. What was the best situation ever you had in a viewing?
The best situation. I mean, I've had a lot of good viewings where the client could make up their mind straight away after. But I would say one of the best, which then had a bit of a sad twist, I would say, was when I first got here, or at the earlier stages in my career in Dubai. It was in Christmas, so I decided to spend Christmas here, and I was like, okay, I'm not going home this year, because I just started my job. I'm staying out here. I'm hustling. I'm trying to close something. A lot of people from my company, they already went back home, and spent Christmas with their family. And then and what we used to do is, like, if of course one of my colleagues is abroad and he does still get leads, it makes sense for that lead to be handled by someone who's actually in the country. And of course we have certain arrangements how that goes down.
Yeah.
But anyways, he sends me this lead and he says, okay, can you please do a viewing for me? He was on the Palm as well. And I was like, yeah, of course, no problem at all. I went to meet these clients. They arrived in this like brand new shining car, like super car, and I was like, wow, this could be a good one. But of course, it's pretty normal in Dubai. But back then, I was still getting excited, seeing all these Ferraris, Lambos, and now you see them. It's like pretty normal life, which is crazy. But yeah, I arrived. They were a young couple from the UK, and I went upstairs. I showed them the apartment. And then they were like, it's good. It's very good. And this was actually on the 23rd. So it was already holidays, basically. And I had to beg for those viewings because it was tenanted. But they said it was a bit too small. And the view, like, they want a clearer sea view. It was a good unit, but it was slightly angled. And they were like, please, can you, like, do you have anything else at all? Like on the Crescent, on the Palm. And in this building even. And I said, look, I'm very familiar with the area. There's nothing else. You've given me your budget, what you want to spend. This is what's currently on the market. If something else does come up, I'm happy to contact you. But then they were like, okay, what if we increase our budget a little bit? And I said, of course, then we can start targeting different developments as well. But I would just like to confirm with you first, you're happy to do so and you're comfortable doing so as well. And then they said, okay, yeah, they increased the budget by another 2 million for a 2-bedroom. And then I said, okay, I've got an apartment we can view right now. It's a brand new apartment. It's just got finished. It's a 2-bedroom with full sea view, for 8.3 million. We arrived there, and literally I arrived in the unit. We went up into the elevator. It's a very special development because there's only 2 units on each floor, so it's very.
Which building?
It's Muraba Residences.
Ah, okay.
It's very special development, and it's quite exclusive. So we go inside the unit, and by then we've spent quite a lot of time together, me, the husband and the wife as well. And we got on quite well because they were young people as well. And the wife...
So the owners are living there?
No, this apartment was empty. It was an empty apartment, but it was fully staged and furnished. And I go inside, and immediately the wife just comes up to me, and she's just like, thank you so much, Greg. Thank you so much. This is perfect. She was shaking my hand, and she was just like thanking me the whole time. And I was, of course, really happy for them and really happy for me as well. And then they like walked around the apartment for another 20 minutes, just like thanking me. This is perfect. The view is perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. They had like this panorama shower with like Burj Al Arab view. It was perfect. And then we finished the viewing. We go down, and they're just like, okay, we're happy to proceed. So I informed them of the procedure, what the next steps will be. They said, no problem. Let us go home. We'll do all of this. Then, you know, an hour goes by, an hour and a half goes by. Like, they call me and they say, Greg, what price do you think the owner would accept? They start negotiating, the normal process. And only at this point I started realizing is that the extra bit they added on top is not what they were comfortable spending or could afford. And I didn't know that. And that the husband literally told me that same day, I just literally got this car out of the garage. This was the first time we went on the viewing with the car, and it must have been, I'm not very good with cars, but that car is probably the 2 million dirhams missing. And I was telling myself in the head, why did you buy this car? Why did you not buy this apartment instead? You know,
Yeah.
and I bet you're furious right now. I mean, maybe they had the money and didn't want to spend it, but they said ultimately, they said, Greg, unfortunately, you know, at this price range, we cannot go any higher. And I think it got stuck at somewhere at like 7.6 million. But the seller was not keen on that. So yeah, this was a very good viewing, because literally I remember this moment exactly. The wife came up to me and the husband, like straight after walking into the apartment and the master bedroom, they were like, thank you so much, literally early Christmas present.
Crazy.
But then they were like,
They bought something else?
no.
So they
No.
still...
They're still renting. They're still renting in the marina.
Oh, okay.
But no, I think they're waiting for a good opportunity again.
Okay, crazy.
But yeah, it was a very nice viewing, because they were just very nice people as well. And just the way they thanked me, and you could see it was so genuine, and I felt so good as well. It was like making this happen on such short notice, literally like right after, and then it's the perfect one. But yeah, they didn't want to go for a mortgage because of the rates, and they weren't comfortable putting that much cash down, unfortunately.
Okay,
Yeah.
crazy story.
Yeah, I bet they regret buying this car maybe a little bit.
For sure.
For sure, especially the wife. The husband didn't seem too fussed, but the wife.
Very crazy.
Yeah. And how do you usually, like, if you know, get an apartment and sellers come to you and say, you know, qualifying is one thing, but my sellers often ask me as well, and I want to see kind of your response to that, because we speak to a lot of agents every day, but it's very different responses. Like, how long would you say does it take for an apartment to get sold, or how many viewings?
Completely different from area to area, but
Yeah.
finish your question.
Yeah, no, for me, it's just interesting to know, like, what do you tell your owners? Like, of course, it's dependent on the price as well, but you know, if a seller is serious and the property is priced well, then that property should eventually move.
Yeah, sure.
And what kind of statistic would you?
I mean, depends on the area, how many connection, how big is your network, or are you just using Property Finder? Are you using different agents? They are focusing also with the buyers on these areas, or you have a network from buyers already, where you have them already ready and just buying that. So I had some situations in MGL. I just got the apartment. He said, Noah, I taking it out from holiday home. I want to sell it now. I had some, like, literally some Russians,
Ready buyers,
some Russians. I just offer it. Next day viewing. Next day signing papers.
So it's investors kind of.
Yeah. So I had these situations. Also very depends, different areas where where sellers think they can get hilarious prices. Okay, this is something different, but your question was, okay, market price.
Exactly.
I mean, when you're focusing with different agents on it and you don't have the biggest buyer pool like I had in this one, you should offer it to the agents and just go for it, and for Property Finder. But from area to area different. So like, it could be 2 days where I did it in my focus areas, or you can take some more weeks or even month.
So you for you, it's basically like it depends on the connections you have in that area. Like you know,
Look,
if you specialize.
I don't go for, okay, right now we have a team of 10, 15 people. So when someone is offering to me, I say, okay, I go to my team and just asking around, okay, someone has a buyer for it. And
Yeah,
then
of course,
it goes much easier because we have everywhere, we have now agents specializing in the areas. So when someone is coming up to me and say, hey, no, I have something here as well, I didn't knew about that he has also apartments in this area.
Yeah.
Just coming randomly, for sure I'm asking always, okay, do you have something else in Dubai? And maybe there's no response, or they don't tell me about it. They bought it or want to sell it. No, they have a friend, whatever. And no, I don't focus on areas where I don't have my main focus on. So my main focus, I have a lot of apartments in MGL. I have a lot in beachfront. So these are my main areas as well.
Speciality.
Downtown, the addresses I have a lot as well.
Yeah.
But so when I have buyers or sellers in different areas, they want to have it now or something, we have a team of 15 people now.
That's right. Makes life a lot easier now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But no, it depends. To go back to your question, could be 1 to 2 days, could be more than 1 to 3 months to sell one apartment. Like.
Yeah, I mean, what's great here in Dubai is the process. If it's, you know, if there's no banks or finance involved, that property could literally be yours the next day. If it's cash to cash. Very if we compare it to other countries, it's, you know, it takes month and month and month of financing, chasing banks, chasing mortgage brokers. Here it's very straightforward.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Here's the check. Let's meet at the trustee office tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Do you have any situations in viewings? I don't know, with like I had some situations where the seller just like canceled in beforehand. Like I told you about my first deal.
Yeah.
I had 2 viewings with them. They said to the first yes, at the second they bought it. Why they didn't bought the first one? Because at the same moment, the seller got the check from a different agent.
Yes.
Did you had something like this?
Yeah, I definitely had viewings cancelled, and I've also had situations where the seller says, "Look, I have an offer right now, and I'm trying to close it from a different agent. That's why I'm not allowing any viewings." But knowing the Dubai market and knowing how it all works here, there's also a lot of agents who work in a less professional manner. Let's put it that way, and often use this as a strategy to block the unit. It's quite unfortunate for people who are trying to work in a transparent and truthful manner. Yeah. But I've had situations where the seller says, "Look, my unit is currently being offered on from agent XYZ. You cannot come. I'm blocking viewings. I'll let you know if it becomes available again." And then of course, my buyer would have gone already to someone else or somewhere else and finish the purchase. So not that close, I would say, but I've had situations where there's at least been a verbal offer, which in my point of view is no offer. For me, it's an offer when they have the 10% deposit check ready, because only then they're serious and committed.
So what do you suggest for buyers and sellers in regarding to viewings?
I mean, I think
as a final question to go to end in this podcast.
Yeah, no, I think for especially for the sellers, with regards to viewing, one thing which makes a big difference is go ask around. If you are new in Dubai, maybe if you're selling the property firsthand, there's many neighbors inside your building, which I'm sure, especially I know on the Palm, they don't just own one property, but they own several properties as well. This is often the case. Go ask around. There is trusted agents out there as well, which sellers have made transactions with. And right now it really helps, if you don't have an open pool of agents and have 30 people working on your property, because this in my eyes makes no sense. You're going to have a lot of time wasters. You're going to lose a lot of time yourself, and you're going to get very frustrated as well. So I think for sellers, go find one agent or maybe 2 agents, which you can trust, which have a track record of qualifying the buyers before they come.
Focusing on this one area, right?
Specializing specifically in that one area. Coming back what you said before, it makes sense. The difference in speed of moving a property when like you have a pool of buyers ready, like you had those Russian buyers ready, makes a big difference than giving it to someone who maybe specializes in Business Bay and giving them a property on the Palm.
Sure.
That's really what I would say. Really focus on 1 or 2 agents. If you have someone in mind, if you don't have someone in mind, sorry, go ask neighbors, go ask friends you have who have been involved in transactions, and maybe they can even give you a recommendation, because that's how the good agents get filtered out, by getting recommended, I would say.
Sure. Very good words for the ending. So thank you so much for listening. Some good words from both of us, some good stories, I think so. And catch you in the next podcast. Thank you so much.